the next match. Matches come thick and fast here in this tournament. First of all, we've got a presentation from Claire Crowe to Camudu of the Italia team. Forza Italia. Lovely presentation of an Isle of Man rosette. Camudu, for this match, you're going to be tossing the coin. You're the first named team. Claire, you're going to call.
Heads.
It is a head.
We'll have a bat, please.
Okay. Claire, you've decided to have a bat on this particular occasion. You've played 2 matches so far. Easy run chase in the first one. We made it look easy. Last night, a bit of a disappointment running out of light. You were probably second favourites at the time, but you could have come back. So a little bit of disappointment from that match. So you want to make a mark with the bat first in this one?
Yeah, I think we want to definitely put some runs on the board. I think we've got the players in the squad to do that today. And then hopefully if we get a good score, put Italy under pressure to try and chase us down. And obviously our bowlers then will come to the game and hopefully dismiss a few of them and make it a little bit more difficult, and we'll come out with the win.
Yeah, well, we're all looking forward to seeing a nice competitive match, so look forward to seeing that, and thanks very much for your time. Camudu, come and have a quick word, please. Okay, so you've lost the toss. You're going to have a feel first. Your unbeaten team in this tournament. Spain could be joining you shortly with 2 wins out of 2 as well, so the competition's hotting up. Are you enjoying it?
Yes, unfortunately we lost the toss, but we would like to try also with our fielding and with bowling to give them some pressure and to do our basic things and to do a good match. Let's see.
Okay, good luck in the match. We just had a wicket in the middle, so we're going to go back to that, and we'll see you on the field shortly. Thanks for your time. So, Isle of Man win the toss, and they're going to bat first. Yesterday's player of the match for Italy gets this particular one underway. That's all action for the game. Two scuttled, two taken. There's a shy at the bowler's end, and the Isle of Man innings is underway straight away with two. Lucy Barnett facing the first ball. From Mahamalagi, yesterday's, as I mentioned, player of the match in the first match of the day, second match of the day against Norway. And this is lofted wide and over extra cover, wide of mid-off, and again round for two. So Kim Carney's doing the work for our opening partner so far in this match. She hasn't faced a ball yet. As the wind picks up again here at Desert Springs Cricket Ground, we're bringing coverage to you as that's chipped in the air just short, and that goes to Amelia Bartram, but try and take the catch. She yorks herself. There's a run out attempt, and well, this will be an interesting one. That looked close. I will always put the caveat in that we can't see the crease lines from where we are. We always look to bring you the coverage live as we see it, rather than what you see on your screens. So just look at this one again. Well, it even looks tight in slow motion, but I think that Lucy Barnett just got home. Well, I know that she did, because Mark Chappell gave it not out. That's how I know she got home. Playing a miss to end the over. So we're bringing this coverage from the Desert Springs Cricket Ground in the province of Almeria, southern Spain. This ICC Women's 2020 International Pentagonal Series, quinquilateral if you will, with these two sides being complemented by the host Spain and the two Scandinavian sides, Norway and Sweden. My name's Andrew Elliott. I'm enjoying bringing this coverage to you with the assistance of current Warwickshire batting all-rounder and part-time scorer.
And part-time commentator.
Wow. It's Thea Brooks.
Hello.
Welcome back, Thea.
Thank you very much.
Now, we've got a bit of an issue which we could gesticulate at each other off air and not understand each other. But we are short of an Italy team sheet, so we might as well decide between us how we're going to rectify that. I think you should commentate, and I should see if I can retrieve it via WhatsApp.
I'll tell you what I will do. I mean, this might be relatively helpful, depending on if they've changed their team. So I did actually write Italy's team down in yesterday's game and their numbers.
Oh, we can tick them off.
Might.
Well, I'll tell you what, you keep your head down and I'll read out you some player shirts for you.
But I've said that, and I've also straight away seen number 2, and I do not have a number 2.
And I've just seen 2 number 7s as I've glanced around as well.
Fantastic.
Unless my eyes are deceiving me.
Well, we know Sharon, and she stood at slip, and she's a number 7. She's one of.
And is there another number of honours? We've got a 77 here, so that's helped. Now that that ball's been chopped down, it's caused the deep fine leg to run around so that we can reveal, and the ponytail moved out of the way, and we can now have 77 ticked off the list. So we've got a number 2, and number 2 is not on your list.
Iconic female cricketer, Kiwi, 77. Do you know who that is?
Susie Bates?
Oh, close. Other big name. Who
Susie
took
Bates.
over? Who took over the captain of Susie Bates?
Who took over the captaincy of Susie Bates?
SD initials.
Susie Devine.
No, you were very close though. Definite surname. So Devine. Come on.
It's not Sarah.
It's not Sarah.
It's not Sue.
It's the same name as the first name of an English spinner.
Moeen.
No, female spinner.
Sophie.
Sophie Devine.
Sophie Devine.
Unbelievable all-round cricketer.
Sorry, if you're listening, Sophie, which you're probably not because the World Cup final's on. Apologies for getting your first name wrong.
Hey, it's all a learning curve for everybody. Apparently I thought Ben Stokes was Harry Brook for a moment.
I feel better about myself now.
Good. We all have these little blips.
Now, do I prioritise seeing if I can WhatsApp the team sheet over to us?
Yes,
Or
I
do
think.
do we concentrate on the World? Well, not concentrate because we're concentrating on the match in front of us. Do we multitask with the World Cup final going on, which is reaching its last stages? We're into the last 5 overs. Do I walk over, increase my steps?
Do I walk over? Who knows? I think what I could do.
You can't walk over because you're scoring, and that would upset you.
That's a very good point. Well, is it worth trying to send a message over? Because we've got the numbers of the scorers in the box. I reckon we can get a little message across to them, and they can get a picture sent across. As Bartram concludes her first over, she's been an integral part of the Italian team with both ball and bat. I'd say her bowling has probably been more of an outstanding performance than her batting so far. But we know left-hander, she's from Oxford in the UK.
Partly.
Mother is Spanish.
Or Italian.
Not Spanish, Italian.
I can
Blimey.
I can exclusively reveal to you, I think, and to almost everyone listening, that Amelia was, when she was bowling yesterday, she was directing the field in Italian, which is good to see.
That's cool.
All 5 of these teams conduct the majority of their operations in the field in the language of that nation, which is really good. Obviously, in European cricket, being developing cricket nations, a lot of their teams are made up multiculturally, a cosmopolitan nature to their lineup. So some of the players speak less of their adopted country's language than others, and might speak together in their native language just to ease communication. But in the main, they've all communicated in their native language. Amelia, so with her Italian mother, has clearly spent time in Italy.
That's missed absolutely everything. As it's called a bite.
That tends to be the result when it misses everything.
It is, yeah. And they run.
And they run. Well,
And they run.
not necessarily. We had a buy signal yesterday for when there was a run out. Mark was apoplectic. Mark Chappell, the umpire, was apoplectic in the Crocodile Club last night that he had managed to signal a buy when actually only 98% of the buy was run, because it was a close run out, striker's end. I think he made a bit too much of it. Right.
First. Oh no, it's not first boundary unit. Where am I? Where am I watching? So
What are you watching?
I don't know. I'm even scoring. Second boundary, sorry, of the innings for Burnett.
Who?
Barnett.
That's the one.
I can't cope. I'm even getting English names wrong here. as the ball's played off the legs into the leg side as a fielder runs around and picks it up to her right and throws it in for a couple of runs to finish the over, finish the third over. 7 coming from it, totaling 18 for no wicket.
Right. So I'm going to make a suggestion. Seeing as we're coming to the end of the World Cup final, that I've got my laptop here, and I think we've got an opportunity to bring better combined coverage by watching it on my laptop. So I'm going to ask you to sign in to our partners at Channel 4.
Well, we've just seen
Channel or competitors, and then we can have a clearer vision of what's going as the first wicket of this Isle of Man innings falls. Kim Carney takes a wild swipe across the line at that ball and misses everything, but the ball doesn't. So that's the end of her innings. So Kim Carney, not quite the impact of the first match for Isle of Man, and this is the first match of the tournament, in fact, where this opening pair knocked off the required runs. Small target, but 10 wicket victories can never be sniffed at.
Now, answer me this question, people of the world. So I'm managing to stream the World Cup on all 4 on my app, yet on the computer it's saying error because it's not available in our current location.
Okay, well let's not push it, because I
Nope.
don't want to sign you out on your mobile.
No.
I'm faced with this problem all the time.
But with
Same thing happened with BBC Sounds for the semi-final. When I wanted to listen on BBC Sounds, it told me that it wasn't available. I don't get it. There are advertisers on Channel 4, as we know, all the time. Surely they want the adverts that they've paid for to be seen by as many people as possible, not restricted. But there must be some legal reason for it. England meanwhile have managed to get it underneath a runner ball.
helps with a 6 and a 4. Ben Stokes, then Moeen Ali.
17 required of 20 balls for England. How many wickets in hand?
6.
Wow.
Apologies if I get slightly distracted over the next 20 balls of this match.
Well, you can rely on me.
Yeah.
Yes. Amelia Bartram is bowling from the Crocodile Club end of the ground. And this is skied, although safely. And went to backward square leg. There was a forward square leg in place, but too much on that ball, actually pitched outside the fielding circle. So Anusha had to run round and backwards. Couldn't get there to intercept the ball. And I think there may have been another boundary in the World Cup final. Which means that England, now this sounds very, very familiar from recent history. England need 12 to win off the last 3 overs. Does that sound familiar to you?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I feel like it should.
You've lost sense of perspective. That's what Spain needed last night when finally the umpires took the players off the field.
Of course.
In their match against the Isle of Man.
Of course.
We said at the time that also I think that Spain were 3 wickets down, England are 4 wickets down. We said they had it pretty much covered, although of course Isle of Man had other ideas. There's no rain forecast in Melbourne today, and they've taken the unusual step of changing the regulations for the final. Between the semi-finals and the final, there's an hour and a half of play up their sleeve. In Melbourne there is, not here at Desert Springs. We haven't got the benefit of those floodlights. Play can actually go until midnight Melbourne time, but it looks like there'll be no need for that. And well, it looks like an England supporter can't quite believe what's happening. He's obviously watched England before. He feels that there's a twist in the tail of this match. One of the England supporters, as that ball sped to the boundary, clasped his head in shock. That's what it's like to be an England supporter. You never.
I just never know.
You hope, but you never quite believe.
12 from 18.
Just see the dismissal of Kim Carney again. That's quite an unusual hand gesture as she was dismissed. I'm not quite sure how you interpret that. It's almost like she felt hard done by when in fact she'd missed a straight ball. So I'm sure she'll realise when she sees it again. Rachel Overman's in. We haven't spoken much about her in this tournament so far. Yet to really shine. But if I can allow myself to rip myself away from all the coverage, as Melbourne Moeen Ali plays one of those attractive offside drives that he's so well known for. Just a single, 10 required off 16 balls there, as a wide is bowled here at Desert Springs.
I will, after these 16 balls or 10 runs have been scored on the World Cup, get back onto our YouTube channel so I can have a look at some comments and interact with you guys who are watching out there. I'm excited. So if you do have any questions or anything that we can answer, then please get in touch. We'd love to hear from all of you watching.
The message, the not very subtly, not very hidden message there from Thea is ask all you like, but you're not going to get an answer in the next 15 balls in Melbourne. Is that fair?
It is fair. Yeah, it is fair. Yeah. I'm a lover of the game, so to be able to watch a World Cup final as well as Isle of Man, Italy, women play in this tournament, I feel very privileged to be where I am. 8 off 14 required in the men's game. A few wides being delivered here by Deshani. I will attempt her second name at some point, but I will definitely get that wrong without practice.
Just discovered a downside of leaving my laptop bag on the ground.
Go on.
There's a snail
Is it
on it. That, not only a snail, but it's left its trail behind.
Oh dear. I left mine on the floor as well, so we'll see what's been crawling around. Or crawling, as normal people would call it.
What's the word you used?
Crawling, apparently.
I thought you said crooning. I thought it was singing a song for you.
I can't cope.
Sort of Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley style. Right, so I said we hadn't had much chance to speak about Rachel Overman. She has just, well actually that's Lucy Barnett, apologies. No, it's not, it is actually Rachel Overman. I'm going to correct myself again.
Yep, correct again.
How many times am I going to do this?
That'll do.
This
Lucy.
It was Lucy Barnett. Rachel Overman is at the non-strikers end currently. And we had those player profiles through before the tournament. I mentioned she hasn't spent a lot of time in the middle. We need to keep an eye on her fielding because she shares one of my many nicknames. This one perhaps more brief. Rachel Overman's nickname is Bambi. And in brackets, as in Bambi on ice.
I love how she had to kind of state why.
Well,
surely Bambi, you think?
I've known people
from
outside cricket who had that nickname, and it wasn't to do with their fielding style, but
fair enough.
I was certainly called Bambi because of my fielding style. Now, I remember reading this profile and thinking, now this could be read one of two ways. Under the section favourite cricketer, it says my grandfather, then in brackets, or Alex Stewart. Now, is she saying that her grandfather
Is
happens
Alex
to be
Stewart.
Alex Stewart? Or is she saying that her favourite cricketer is her grandfather, or if you're looking for someone more famous, Alex Stewart? I suspect it's the latter, but there is that just little ambiguity in there, which is, there's that possibility
Be interested to
that
find
her
out.
grandfather is Alex Stewart. Oh, I suspect not, because Alex Stewart's not that old. Having said that, the current golf champion here at Desert Springs is Regan Botham, who is the grandson of Ian Botham, would you believe, and is already a golfing champion. And Ian Botham is a little bit older than Alex Stewart, but the years go by very quickly. Another of Ian Botham's grandsons has played international rugby for Wales, having been born there. I'll skip past the favourite food because it's one she shares with a lot of the other Isle of Man players, which is spaghetti bolognese. And the interesting, or perceived interesting fact, this is a good one, this one. Whereas a couple of the players in her side, one can do the Rubik's Cube, one can solve the Rubik's Cube, and one can do the splits. Rachel says that she used to be able to unicycle. Now, I find that interesting because there's a much used expression in English, it's like riding a bike. So the suggestion of it's like riding a bike is once you learn how to ride a bike, you never forget. But clearly, and I wouldn't know this because I've never tried a unicycle, obviously you can forget how to ride a unicycle.
And you can forget to ride a bike. I'm just going to throw that one out there, regardless of the expression.
Can you?
If you're me, yeah.
Really?
I'm not the strongest rider of a bike, I'm going to admit.
Okay, so
Yeah,
maybe you're
I'm gonna
never that
admit.
good.
No, I used to ride with my mum all the time, but as I got slightly older...
Got out of the habit. I don't think I've ever met anybody in my life before who's forgotten or lost the ability to ride a bike. And there's just... You can hear some strange effects in the microphone there. England have levelled the scores and have got 8 runs to win this match. And would you believe it? The man on strike is Ben Stokes, and it's possible he's going to stick another iconic moment into his ever-expanding CV.
And he's just hit a 50 as well.
We're hoping...
Want to win.
Looks like Amelia Bartram is going to be able to get another ball in this match before we see the ball bowled in the other match. I got a bit excited there because I took a run and I was thinking that was victory, but of course I'm mixing my matches up now. So let's see if we can bring you live coverage of 2 matches at the same time, because we're just going to watch this one ball in Melbourne. Ben Stokes is on strike with 1 needed off 8 balls. And he has played and missed. What an anticlimax. He's gone for an enormous swipe over cover point, inside out, and has missed. And the match there in Melbourne is going to go to another ball. Joss Butler is in the pavilion. He's, nervous or just nervous tension?
Just waiting for that final
run. He just wants to get over that line. He's
he
smiling,
knows.
Those dimples are showing.
He knows.
As Amelia Bartram bowls again, and Lucy Barnett slashes it over what would be the cordon as Ben Stokes swings this into the leg side, and Thea is on her feet because England, we can confirm, have won the World Cup in Melbourne. So congratulations to them. It's their 2nd title after winning in 2010, when some of the current players were, are still very much learning the game, just as a lot of the players are out here in the middle at Desert Springs.
Come on, the boys.
That's a shout I didn't think I'd hear during this tournament.
Sorry, I'm so happy that England have managed to get over the line. And Ben Stokes, of course it is, the mighty Ben Stokes does it again.
Not one of his most attractive shots, I'll say, to win the match.
Doesn't matter.
It's a bit of a leg side swipe.
Does not matter.
Thick inside edge, but it got England over the line, and that's World Cup victory for them. So they've now won 2 in the 20 over format and 1 in the 50 over format. And after so long, and England's trophy cabinet was bare in global events, they've now got 3 under their belts. So they are actually currently the World Cup holders in both formats.
So happy. That man, Joss Butler, he has led his country. I'm so happy. So happy.
Are you happy?
I am.
Okay.
I'm incredibly happy. No words. Sorry, I'm an avid lover of the sport and the country. So to see the men get across the line against an incredible team such as Pakistan that have finished their tournament.
Foot fielding alert back here at Desert Springs. Ayusha just sticking the boot in the way of that one. Anusha Landagi. She is the player with the number 2 shirt on. Did you hear that fly?
I did.
Did you hear that fly on the coverage? I told you they were all over the place. I think it actually landed on the microphone itself. But we have, thanks to Neil, the Spain coach, he has just presented us with the team sheet for Italy. I was going to say for Sri Lanka there, because I love the origin of names and things like that, and it appears to me that the Italy squad is laden with players of Sri Lankan origins, judging by their surnames. Some of the first names we've got a Jaya Surya in the squad. You see, that's the one I don't like.
Yeah.
That's the one I don't like. I want to take another close look at this, but it's one step on from watching the ball going down the leg side and not hitting it is getting out of the way of the ball so that your legs don't prevent the wide, and then not playing a shot.
But then still called a wide.
Yeah, ICC regs are slightly different from virtually all other limited over formats, in that they make exceptions for cases such as that, where the batter's only intent is to make sure the ball doesn't hit them, so they can get the wide. Normally, if they're very close to leg stump, we couldn't actually see the line of that one, so maybe Rachel Overman was getting out of the way unnecessarily if the ball was going to miss her anyway. But yeah, that is there's a subtle difference in ICC cricket when judging leg side wides. Not in this case, but sometimes you can almost classify it as the cynical claiming of a wide. That's something that wouldn't be in wide. In most laws of cricket, you can't make something into a wide or a no ball.
No.
And rather feels in that case that you are, so it sort of goes against the laws. Of course, playing conditions supersede the laws in the case of same flies back. Did you hear it that time?
I did.
I don't know if I'm going to have to. Does insect repellent work when it's not on skin? Should I
just spray it in the air?
Should I just spray it at the microphone? There we go.
Oh
Did
Lord!
you hear that?
I did. That ran straight down my spine. Saying this, I'm having a nightmare. I'm completely away from the game.
I wonder why.
I'm trying to get the YouTube up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I actually am.
not at all distracted by England's
No, never.
victory.
Well, I've just
Down under.
Oh Lord! Whatever that was, that just sprayed me in the face.
I'll stop the insects.
Falling over. So one leg by takes us to 43. So the end of the over was 42.
Reverse engineering the scoring. Love to
so
see
I
it.
need to find one more run. That'll do. Done. Lovely. So there was 2, 3, 4. Oh no, that was fun. So I had 2 from the over.
Scoring Thoughts Live.
Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with my head right now.
Brought to you on Cricket Espana's
Yeah.
YouTube
what
channel.
Am I doing? I'm
The inner thoughts of a scorer brought to
my
you live.
Lord. My head does not want to work. Blimey. Right, back onto the YouTube. Let's get some comments. Right, okay.
Go on, don't keep it to yourself.
I've been called Birmingham's finest
Birmingham's finest.
by my friend in Australia. Thank you so much, Rob.
And which town did you grow up in?
I grew up in Kings Winford, so I was born in Wordsley.
That's one word, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a one long
One
word.
word, Kings Winford.
Kings
Born
Winford, yeah.
Born in Wordsley,
Well,
so it's not even in Birmingham. But thank you. I'll take Birmingham's finest because I do have a Spanish international cricketer to my right who is also from Birmingham. So the fact that I've been called Birmingham's finest is quite nice. He's now complaining. Oh dear.
And we were expecting actually a special guest at the end of the power play. I suspect was also tied up in the World Cup final. But I think I can spot to my left that the special guest, they are making their way over rather tentatively. And I know that you've already shared the coverage with our special guest, so I'm going to ask whether we can switch and whether I can do it this time. Is that okay with you?
What, you'd like to leave?
No.
Sorry, I completely missed what you said. I was looking through comments.
So, don't worry. I've handled this type of thing before in commentary, but I wasn't able to tell them off on air because I didn't feel I knew them well enough. Even though I've spent less time with you.
Keep going. Enjoy.
We have a special guest heading over.
Yes.
Who was going to be due to be here at the end of the power play, but I suspect was also wrapped up in the World Cup final.
Yes, I heard that bit.
And you have already spent time on coverage with the special guest. So I'm going to ask if we can change things around.
With you, sorry.
And this time whether that person could be me.
No, of course. I do apologise.
Well, she's not here quite yet. We'll probably get another over in with you, if that's okay.
Well, we have two of them coming over because I did ask if she could bring her colleague or teammate.
So you've given away the gender now. I was going gender neutral.
Are you going gender neutral?
I was going gender neutral and you've given away the gender now.
I mean, it could have been anybody, though, that we had.
Well, you've narrowed it down, though, by 51% of the...
Well, people can guess.
49% of the world's population are now out of the equation. They're not the special guest. Has rather wide swinging sweep shot, doesn't make contact, and Rachel Overman just struggling a little bit to get the ball away.
We have... This is Sharon Bowling. We have another question from John from yesterday, and you'll be able to answer this more so than me.
John?
This is cricket, John. Hi, Theo.
Oh, as a wicket falls just
sorry,
cut
John.
across you there. Rachel Overman, I said she was struggling to get the ball away, trying to make something out of nothing, and went for another slog sweep for a ball which hit middle and off. In fact, it was Yorker length, so really picked the wrong ball, I think, for the sweep shot. But that is the end of the innings for Rachel Overman. She can now go back to the pavilion to resume her unicycle training to see if she can get back on it. Leaving for just 6 off 13 balls. Just see the shot again. The wrong shot to the wrong ball, I think, in that instance. And Ellen Cleater is going to replace her.
Lovely to see so many people watching and commentating. All the pleasant comments are coming through nicely, so please keep them coming. You ready for Cricket John's question?
Yep, I think we've got 2 balls left in the over before you.
Oh, I'll go for the end of the over.
Oh, I think we're bringing in.
Oh, okay, I'll go now.
The over, so yeah, let's see if we can fit it in.
I'll do it now. So, hi Thea and Andrew. Do you know if there will still be a final tomorrow, or are they rescheduling the abandoned games?
Okay, the plan is, John, in an effort to make it fairer, so that everyone actually gets to play the same number of games rather than pick up the points, is just to play a single round robin. So the 2 games that we lost on the first day. I think permission has been sought. I'm not exactly clear on whether it's been rubber stamped yet, but it seems likely that we'll be playing the 2 matches that were abandoned on day 1 in place of the third, fourth and the final. So I hope that answers your question, John. Thea has now left me, and I'm going to ask one of two guests to come in.
I'll be back. I'll be back to answer these comments.
What we've got two people that we're going to see one at a time, because that's the number of microphones we've got. But we've got we've got the player of the match, and we've also got the winner of the champagne moment, which came along during the last match.
Hello.
So we've got Amy Brown Carrera of Spain has joined me, and well, Amy, first of all, congratulations. Two wins out of two. I'm just going to ask you to move your microphone just a little bit closer to your mouth there.
Perfect.
2 wins out of 2 for Spain, and those are your first 2 wins in 2020 international cricket. So you must be on cloud 9 at the moment as a squad.
Great, yeah, feels great. The vibes are very high in the changing room. Everyone's buzzing, so it's very good for us, especially from last tournament where we didn't really see those results. So.
Yep. So you're 2 out of 2. Italy are 2 out of 2, and they're playing at the moment. So you'll be watching. You're watching this match with interest, perhaps hoping that Italy slip up.
Hopefully, I mean,
so that you can be the only unbeaten team in the competition.
I guess so, but it's just nice to see good cricket.
So I'm going to ask you, because I think that the internet is lit up by one special moment in that last match, where you pulled off an unbelievable caught and bowled. You were heading off the pitch in your follow through, changed direction. And actually, we had a look on the replay, and we actually think that you just caught it in your fingertips, just to the onside of the pitch,
yes.
Low down. So, just talk me through what happened.
Well, it's just one of those that just stick, and then that's it. You've got it in your hand. It was purely reaction. I mean, I saw it coming, and just pure reaction, really.
I mean, I would have thought it's so low that initially you would have just gone towards it, not knowing whether you were trying to catch it or just stop it on the half volley or whatever it was, because it never really got very far off the ground, the shot, did it?
Yeah, it was. She hit it quite hard. It wasn't off the toe of her bat, so she was obviously looking to drive it, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's coming, and it was just high enough for me to grab it out of the air. So. Well,
we've already said in the commentary box that's probably the moment of this tournament so far that's going to stick in our memory the longest. There's the standout moment, the thing that will come back to you when you remember the tournament.
Yeah,
seeing you dive for that catch, so really memorable. As this full toss is just hit away towards the mid-wicket boundary. Well fielded, bit of hesitation between the running, but they come back comfortably for 2 in the end. So well done for that, well done for the win. But what I want to talk to you about a little bit is your pathway. I understand, and from your name, you're following the Spanish naming convention in using your father's surname and then your mother's surname without a hyphen. Just to add, that's the convention for those who are used to more sort of Anglophone naming conventions. So you've got an English father and a Spanish mother, and I understand that your dad's taught you a lot in the past, but. You live in Ilkley in Yorkshire, is that right?
I do, yes, I do indeed.
Made famous by the song Ilkley Moor Bartat.
It is. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, it's, on the moors, is that right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, as the rhyme suggests. So, born to an English father and a Spanish mother in England.
No, I was born in Spain, in Madrid.
Okay. Well, that's a great advantage, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So you were born in Madrid, and how long did you live there for?
Not long, just a year, and then we moved over to England.
Okay, and have you lived there for the rest of your life?
Yes, I have. School, everything, all in England.
Okay, excellent. But you must have, so presumably you've got a lot of Spanish relatives from your mother's side.
Yeah.
So have you regularly spent holidays in Spain throughout your life?
Yes, we have a house in Valencia on the coast, so we come here every summer, see our family, spend all summer just on the beach doing nothing, which is the highlight of our year, really. And then we go back to miserable, cloudy England.
Oh, you said Ilkley was lovely.
The place is lovely, the weather not so much, really.
Okay. That's understandable. So is the Spanish language, is that something you've always spoken to your mother's side of the family in throughout your life?
Yeah, my mother's always spoken to me. Oh.
There's a catch there.
There we go.
So Ellen Cleater, who was top scorer yesterday in the first match, has just holed out there to mid-off in the second match correction. So another wicket down for Isle of Man. So your cricket presumably has been learnt mainly in Yorkshire.
Yes, it is.
Have you been, may I ask how old you are?
I'm 16.
16. Is this your first international tournament with Spain?
I played in May when we played in France, so this is the second time.
Okay, so there isn't on the women's side. There's no there's no junior side, is there?
No,
on the
yes,
national
just
side.
senior side.
So
yeah.
you're straight into seniors. So have you played any domestic cricket in Spain, or have you just come straight from your Yorkshire training into the international setup here?
Straight from England to the international setup. I play for Renthorpe at England, and I play for Yorkshire as well. So that gives me enough training to just come straight into here.
Okay, and so does that mean you have to sort of get to know your teammates as you go along?
Yes, I guess so. I mean, you kind of pick up along. You got to just learn on the spot, and then. But they've been great, really. So.
Okay, so I'm going to spring a bit of a surprise on you now, if you don't mind, because on the first day we thought that Thea wasn't going to make it here, but she actually got here very quickly. So I'd actually lined up your mother, Marisol, to commentate with me, and the intention with the clearance, because obviously this is going out on the Cricket España YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So the intention, just for some people who maybe their English isn't that advanced, I was going to do a little bit of commentary in Spanish with your mum.
Okay, great.
So how do you feel about if we just try it, if we just have a little bit of a stab at it in this over?
Go on.
About commentating
That'd
in
be great.
Spanish. So,
I'm not sure how much.
no, you got to. I realise that most of my Spanish side cricket background is in Argentina, and they use a little bit of different vocabulary there. So if there's any vocabulary you haven't heard, and I'll extend this apology to the viewers, please forgive me. For instance, in Argentina they say corridas instead of carreras, which is obviously very close to your surname, so you may feel a bit protective about that. So, entonces tenemos la capitana de Italia que está boleando ahora desde el lado del Club Cocodrilo, Pedrick, y de hecho, y no se ve raras veces, la bateadora ahí no ofreció un tiro, la bloqueó con la pierna, que es Lucy Barnett. Y entonces, para los que no entendieron de lo que estabas hablando, ¿estás disfrutando mucho de este torneo, tu segundo torneo internacional?
Sí, me encanta. El sitio, la gente, todo fue fenomenal. Está tan bien organizado y todo eso que es súper fácil estar aquí mentalizada para jugar, porque si no, estar en un sitio que hay mucha locura y está mal organizado, es difícil jugar como quieras.
Well, mientras tus comentos, habían 4 corridas, como digo yo, del bate de Lucy Barnett.
Un buen tiro.
Y estamos esperando, no sé si sabes algo de Rico Full en el I100, que le encanta cantar lo de 6 carreras.
¿Ah, sí?
Pero todavía en este torneo no hemos tenido 6 carreras.
No, todavía no.
¿Tú crees que alcanzamos antes
Yo
de
creo que
terminar el torneo?
Yo creo que sí.
¿Más que una? ¿Más
Sí.
que una vez?
Yo espero, porque si
Ok.
no...
Por ahora estamos contando con las veces que la pelota llega hasta la cerca. Entonces no bloquea, por favor. No. Así es. Ese es nuestro equivalente de tener un 6. Porque no hemos tenido la oportunidad de ver
Ver un
6
seis.
carreras. De hecho, nuestra próxima invitada iba a bloquear esa pelota, entonces pedí que no bloquea.
Bueno, es muy
Está
buena
bien.
bloqueando, así que es
Sí,
natural
por
para
eso.
que ella bloquee.
Sí. Tenía que ignorar su instinto,
Su
creo,
instinto,
en ese
eso.
caso. Bueno, la capitana de Italia, y otra vez Lucy Barnett pega la pelota para
Mejor llega.
el leg side. Hay 2 fildeadoras para la pelota y resultan 2 corridas. Bueno, hicimos un over the comentario, so I'm going to switch back to English.
So, back to
Amy,
English.
and thank you very much. That I think is the first ever bit of Spanish commentary that we've had on the Cricket España YouTube channel.
Very honoured.
So I'm going to ask you to move to one side, and I'm going to ask our player of the match for the last match to come and join me.
Thank you.
Thanks very much
See
for
you
your time.
later.
See you later in the tournament. Right, so Well, there's a chance from the last match. Victor, I might have had Ursula Said sitting next to me right now, but actually I've got Naomi Hillman Bermejo once again nominated as player of the match. It must have been a close run thing between you and Ursula. She had a great match.
It was a good partnership, wasn't it? And I think it was quite close between us, but obviously very happy to get it.
Yeah, and you also both backed up with the ball, and of course she got that run out late in the game, which was very impressive. A bit of palming onto the stumps, which might just have tipped in their favour, but it's once again you. So 2 matches for Spain, player of the match twice, 2 victories. It's an easy game, isn't it?
Well, you say that. It's easy at the moment. It's going really well for the team, and we'd never won a match before this, so now we're on a roll. We have to keep it going.
And it coincides with you coming in the side. Yeah. Perhaps there's no connection, but when you're player of the match twice, you're obviously making key contributions, and you must be delighted not only with the team's performance but your own.
Yeah, of course. It's obviously really nice to go into a tournament with form, and I'm batting all right and bowling well, so I just want to keep it going and contribute more to the team.
Well, yeah, I know you came on commentary yesterday when you were with Thea, but I was out in the middle umpiring, just helping out because Nilkesh was feeling a bit under the weather. So I know that you talked a little bit about your background, but obviously the people who are watching and listening today, not all of them would have been able to tune in yesterday, and hopefully we're getting a lot more people coming in right now after England's victory in the 2020 World Cup. Hopefully our viewing figures will go up. So for my benefit and for their benefit, those who weren't watching yesterday, just a little bit about your background, because I've just asked Amy about hers. I believe, like her, you're an English father and a Spanish mother, is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
And also, like Amy, you're observing the Spanish naming conventions with your surname.
Yeah, double-barreled, of course.
Double barrel, but without the hyphen, of course, because that's not used in Spanish, and other Portuguese also uses the same structure. So, unlike Amy, I understand you were born in England, is that right?
No, I was born in Madrid and lived there for
also
7
born
years.
in Madrid.
Yeah.
This is great. We're ticking lots of boxes here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was misfed that information slightly. So you were both born in Madrid.
Yep.
Both 16, I understand?
Yeah, just turned 16, but Amy's the year above me at school.
Okay, but obviously you come from different parts of England. You're from, I'm not going to get this one wrong, you're from Hampshire, am I right?
Yeah, I'm from Hampshire, yeah.
Okay, because I understand the club that you play for in Hampshire.
Yeah.
It used to be arch rivals of my club. I used to play for many years ago in Hampshire, which was Hook and Newnham Basics.
Oh.
And we also always had a bit of needle when we came up against Hursley Park, and that's your club in Hampshire, yes?
Of course, it's a great club.
Now, I understand that the men's side is a little bit on the wane, but the women's side is going from strength to strength. Is that right?
Yeah, it's getting stronger and stronger. We've got 3 teams now, which is insane, and we've got age groups from under 9s up to under 18s, so it's really growing, and it's a brilliant club.
Okay, so going back a bit, so you were also born in Madrid, and so how long did you stay there?
7 years, and then I moved to Hampshire.
Okay, so the stories are like diverging slightly now. We're getting some differences. Okay, so I presume that your Spanish is also fluent?
Yeah, my accent's fading a bit, because obviously being in England all the time, but I'd like to think that my Spanish is decent.
Okay, and like Amy, you must have lots of relatives here from your mother's side, so do you regularly come here on holiday?
Yeah, I do. Obviously during the summer it's cricket season, so I struggle to come here, but when I can, of course, I come and see my family here. Yeah,
that was always, I don't think, I can't remember the last time I had a summer holiday. It just doesn't happen when you're involved in cricket.
Exactly.
But so we've just tried a little bit of commentary on Spanish, so do you want to be part of the second ever bit of Spanish commentary?
Oh yeah, I'll let you take the lead though.
On cricket. Well, that's fine, that's my job. I can do that. So we're going to go. We've actually lost the graphics off the screen momentarily, so I'm going to have to multitask here, as ever. Entonces, volviendo del lado del club de Cocodrilo en Desert Springs, tenemos a Sadali Malwata volviendo este over y enfrentando Lucy Barnett. Lucy Barnett, que ha bateado muy bien, muy elegante sus selecciones de tiro, esta vez con un cover drive sin corrida. Y Naomi, todavía no hemos tenido 6 carreras o 6 corridas en este torneo. ¿Estás esperando ser la primera?
Claro, a mí me encantaría, pero tiene que ser la bola adecuada y espero que me pase a mí, pero no sé.
Vamos a ver. Nadie sabe.
Sí.
Nadie sabe. Podría ser esta misma pelota ahora que van a volear.
Claro, nunca se sabe.
Entonces veamos. Salali volea otra vez. Y bueno, bastante energía en ese tiro. De hecho, se fue directamente a mid-off, pero escapó las manos y se va largo para 4 corridas. Ya tenemos los gráficos de nuevo y os puedo contar que ya Isle of Man ha llegado a 71 para 3. Entonces, veamos otra vez ese esfuerzo en la cancha, un poco desafortunada, que escapó las manos. Así es en cricket. Señalado tal cual, 4. Otra vez, esta vez con un cover drive para 1. Y dime, Naomi, obviamente es tu primer torneo para España. ¿Has visitado Desert Springs antes?
Sí, hice un campamento de verano aquí de cricket hace un par de años y era fantástico. Así que ya conozco el sitio bastante bien.
¿Y cuál era el campamento exactamente?
Era un campamento de Root Academy de cricket,
Ok.
que lo hacen aquí cada verano y era fantástico.
Entonces, no era específicamente debido a tus conexiones españolas, era como
No.
casi como casualidad
Sí, era
que
casualidad completamente,
terminaste en España.
sí.
¿Y en cuál mes fue?
Era el julio, creo.
Ok, en el medio de la temporada en Inglaterra, entonces.
Sí, durante el verano.
Ok, muy bien. Entonces, en este caso casi tomaste vacaciones, pero no, porque es
Sí, más o menos.
cricket. Es eligiendo cricket encima de cricket, ¿no?
Sí.
Ahí tenemos un appeal para el BW, pero no dado. Entonces, así termina nuestro segundo experimento en haciendo comentario en español. Gracias por ser parte.
Muchas gracias.
I'm going to go back to English now, just in case we lose some of our more peripheral listeners. But there are people who are tuning in all the time. We had yesterday the Cricket España YouTube site more than doubled its subscribers in the time that it's been in existence, just on the basis of yesterday's play. So we're hoping a lot of those people are tuning in because they're interested in cricket in Spain. We were saying on commentary earlier that you started so young. Yeah, that you could easily be around for the next 20 years playing for the Spain side.
Yeah, of course.
You could reach a stage one day where you can say, I've actually spent more than half my life playing for the Spain side. So we hope that we can follow you closely on this channel and watch your development and see you. But of course, we've got this tournament to get through first, so let's not look too far into the future. For now, I'd just like to thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And maybe after your third match, we'll have you back for a player of the match interview again. You never know.
Oh, you never know.
You've got to aim for the top.
Okay, thank
And
you.
this guy, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, Naomi.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have those two younger members of the Spain squad with us for the last 20 minutes or so. We're just going to have Amy's just going to join us very quickly, and in the industry we call this somewhat a fake photo. You can say whatever you want, Amy, but your mum's here to take a photo of you on the commentary with me. Hello again.
Hello again.
Once again, congratulations on your champagne moment.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you'll give us something else to remember in the rest of the tournament, and
Hopefully I will.
maybe we'll have you back tomorrow for the last day.
I hope so.
Thanks,
Thank
Amy.
you. See you later.
Yes. We've got a wicket out in the middle. Just about to explain that Amy's mother, Marisol, didn't get quite in time to take a photo of Amy commentating. But we break off there as Becky Webster has fallen. Once again going for the slug sweep. That's not... perhaps in hindsight she will think that maybe she didn't make the best shot selection. But... wicket-keepers love to sweep. Becky Webster's a wicket-keeper, but her stay is short-lived. And the captain now, Claire Crowe, is coming out to bat. Again, we haven't seen too much of Claire batting in this tournament. But while you've been away, Thea, lovely to have you back.
Hello.
I've been racing through the overs somewhat.
I've still been scoring. I've not missed it.
Well, I had faith in you. You're a multitasker. But I've been talking, so I don't know if you heard, we've now had not just our first, but our first and second instances of commentary in Spanish.
Wow, I should have been here.
Well, you can always YouTube. It's there forever.
Rewatch it.
Yeah, you never miss it when it's on YouTube because you can always watch it later. So yep. So I hope that those out there tuning into this Cricket España YouTube channel who perhaps struggle a little bit with English and don't have it as their first language manage to get something out of that commentary, and hopefully it won't be the last because I'm hoping to have Marisol with me for a whole innings tomorrow.
Amazing.
When you're heading back to sunny Berkshire. So scoring rate just under 5 per over, and with 6 wickets in hand for the last 5 overs, there's definitely scope to boost that. I would think that Isle of Man at this point would be looking for at least 110, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we didn't say it last game, and it still happened, so I'm going to say it this game. I think Lucy Barnett has played an outstanding innings so far for her country. She's too shy away from the first 50. I've gone there. Too shy away from the first 50.
Yeah, not mentioning it didn't work. So let's
No,
go back the other way.
We'll go in back.
Actually, she's crept on without me because I've been concentrating more with the guests we've had on the overall score. But the fact that she's on 48 on 51 balls had kind of escaped my notice. And she's played well. We know all about the nervous 90s in cricket, but in 2020 you get so few hundreds, especially at a women's level, that it becomes the nervous 40s, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And I was actually walking around the boundary and I thought, I'm going to miss the first 50 of the tournament. I'm not going to be on commentary for it. And I'd have been absolutely devastated.
I think that might be it. That's the moment.
Lucy Barnett.
It crosses the boundary.
She jumps in delight. Beautifully struck through the covers for 4. Lucy Barnett. 52, not out. Round of applause from her teammates in red and black on the boundary rope. She has been exceptional. That is the first 50 of the tournament so far. We've been close with other nations. We had an almost one earlier from one of the guests that you've just received, Naomi. She came close, but that has been struck even better over the head of extra. Races away to the boundary.
That really is a glorious stroke. Now, I just want to know, has that bounced back off the picket fence? It was hit so hard.
Probably.
We had a picket fence moment with Naomi. She nearly got in the way of it, but we asked her to let it go. And Naomi's also stated unequivocally that she wants to be the first person in this tournament to hit a 6. She believes it's going to happen. I think we just had an inquiry from the cricket manager here. Do you want anything you can fill us in on, Thea?
Oh no, I think he's just passing on information to somebody else about that 50, and he was just wanting to confirm that it was Lucy Barnett. Because we only have numbers on the back of the shirts of the ladies in the Isle of Man.
Yep.
So just wanted confirmation of the player, just so we can pass it on.
Well, it's definitely Lucy Barnett. It's on the TV screens and it's on our team sheets, which obviously not many people have access to. I thought he might be inquiring whether it was the first 50 of the tournament because, as some of you are aware, Peter's been standing in as head groundsman here as well as being cricket manager, so he can't be entirely focused on the cricket, everything that's going on in front of him, because he's got so much to do behind the scenes. But yeah, he's just trying to get up to speed there, Peter. But we can confirm that. I was just thinking, I just got distracted there, because I was just thinking, despite the fact you got your mobile in your hand, I was thinking you got the same mobile case as me, and then I realised it was mine.
I was going to say, if you've got little Winnie the Pooh on the back of yours, I'd be interested. I think.
Are you a Winnie the Pooh fan?
Oh, I love Winnie the Pooh.
I found out something. I know this is. I know that. Well, you would have definitely heard of Robin Smith, a former England batsman.
Of course.
And his elder brother Chris also played for England.
Sounds about right. This does.
And have you already spotted the Winnie the Pooh connection?
Of course I have. As just saying that, we have lost a wicket. We have lost Captain Claire Crowe, been caught and bowled by Chathurika. I love saying that name.
Yeah.
It just flows.
Well, you're getting a lot of practice because she's
all over
always
the
involved.
place.
Yeah,
She is.
whenever she's playing in a cricket match, she always seems to be involved. So well done. You spotted the Winnie the Pooh connection there.
Christopher Robin.
Yeah, I mean I've been aware of those two since back in the 80s, and it never occurred to me the fact that the first brother was called Christopher and the second one was called Robin.
That's fantastic. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have Winnie the dog. We'll add a dog in there called Winnie. No, or
Wha-
Tigger.
Well, yeah, they could have had a pet that was named after one of the others. Eeyore, I think, was my favourite.
Oh, Eeyore was beautiful. Piglet, just love life.
What's the wonderful thing about Tiggers again?
Tigger's a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Back to the cricket. Maha Maliga's action. I love this because she's diminutive. Let's not beat about the bush. But at the beginning of her run-up, she almost crouches to make herself smaller. Talking about Tiggers, crouching Tigger. look
Isn't it
at the start.
Tigers?
No,
Hidden Dragon.
yeah, it's almost like I'm going to crouch down really slow. I'm going to surprise them because she is short, and it's almost looking like she wants to come in with stealth. Just look again at the beginning of this run-up. I love it. It's a thing that a lot of kids do these days, actually. They do this as well. They line
not
up
the
the
aim.
ball.
The aim.
It's like
Then they shut one eye.
It's like they've got their sights on their rifle. They just that's crept into the game, hasn't it? The younger kids, they don't often bring it into their adult play. I haven't seen it go through, but they love that. But they often do that, and then they do this crouch.
I do like it. It is good fun.
Meanwhile, I mean, statistically it's the first 50, but it's there are 3 overs left after this. Lucy Barnett could very much stamp this down as the innings of the tournament. She keeps going. She's dominated. She scored over 2/3 of her team's runs in this innings as she hits 4 more runs away to square leg. That's quite an inventive shot, actually. It wasn't certainly not from the coaching manual. She came across the stumps and shoveled it away through the leg side. And that ends the 17th over. So they have just crept the run rate above 5. That was really good. I don't know if you saw that on the monitor there. Just realised she didn't actually come across as much as it looked like from here. She sort of stood at the ground. The ball was missing leg stump. The crouching start there from your favourite Italy player. They actually just showed it in reverse. One of your favourites.
I don't have favourites.
They're all your favourites.
I like them
They
all.
actually just showed her run up in reverse. Which is really good because she gets taller as it went on.
No, I think.
Sorry, she gets shorter.
I think a lot. I've spoken to quite a few of the Italians, and the passion that they have for their sport is second to none. I think all of them, they play for their country with absolute pride. There's smiles on their faces. They congratulate every single run, every single wicket.
And here is
so
one.
Here, there we go. They'll all congregate together.
Actually, do you know what? That's an equivalent of a commentator's curse. They've reacted rather calmly to that one. In fact, do you know what I'm thinking when I see that reaction? I think they've been told about their overrate. That's what I'm going to predict.
Exactly. So I think that's not lack of passion. I just think that's very much we need to get on with it.
Yeah. Although I don't think that can be the case because I think they've got through the overs very quickly. So I don't know quite what's gone on there. Maybe it's the equivalent in the. You often see in the men's game, don't you? You see the finger on the lip, the silent signal.
I have had someone do that before. I think it might have been at square leg, and we appealed for a run out or stumping or something, and they lifted their finger and shook it and said like, "No, not out."
Oh, the umpire.
And we
did.
were like, "What are you doing?" So we've obviously all celebrated, and he's like, "No, we said not out." I said not out because I shook my finger. I was like, "Don't just don't raise your finger then, you donut."
So you've raised a thought yesterday because there was a wicket that wasn't a wicket yesterday. If you remember, Amelia Bartram juggled a catch at mid-wicket.
I
don't
do.
know how many times. I don't know what the replay angles were like, whether you could actually count the number of juggles. But my colleague thought it was around 8. Don't think it was quite that many. It always looks more than it is, doesn't it, in numbers? But Yeah, there was the striker stood her ground because she wasn't convinced, and I wasn't convinced either.
I'd like to see that on from a different angled replay if we had one. So they're always very difficult, and we saw one. Oh, who was it? It was Kane Williamson in the World Cup, New Zealand. I think it was against England actually. Yeah, it was New Zealand, England. Kane Williamson running backwards, and he went for a catch. I think it was a. It might. Can't remember if he necessarily fumbled it, but it's bounced into his hand. But because he took his eye off the ball, he wasn't sure if it had landed on the floor. But when it went up to TV screen, it was obvious that it had hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it does happen.
Yeah, I think with that one, Amelia wouldn't have known it because she had so many different grabs at it. Her own. She would have had the distraction of her own sort of flailing limbs.
Of course.
And there's an LBW. We haven't had many in the tournament, but there's one there. Not too much hesitation from Mark Chappell. Another one lost to a slog sweep. I think they might have. I know you like intent, but I think the slog sweep's not working.
No, there's intent in different ways, and this is what people need to understand. Is the fact that when you're looking at playing intently, you're looking to score. It's not just swinging your bat and hoping for the best. I think it's pretty evident that the ball doesn't really bounce on this wicket as much. So playing across the line is always going to be very detrimental. So just looking at playing hard shots down the ground, we've got a long on, a long off, a cow, and a deep square. So there is nobody on the in the inner ring saving one on the leg side. So there's always a single at least there. If not, because the boundary is so big, there's twos. So the intent comes from looking to score. So even if it's looking to score singles, you can still do it with intent. It doesn't necessarily mean trying to smash the ball out the ground. Like, these players need to be clever, because if they're looking at hitting the ball hard down to the sweepers, you might just be looking at one. But if we're looking at placement in between the gaps, you're going to pick up twos, because the fielders have got so much space to run, so much ground to cover. But at the moment, in this kind of instance, you just think in T20, so that's more of a placement shot, which is absolutely fine, because they've still scampered through for a single. But anything like that on the leg side, she's got two.
Well, there are 2 overs. Speaking of two overs remaining in this innings, and Isle of Man have got the score up to 90, so they're on exactly 5 per over. 110's looking a little bit more distant now. Maybe 105 is a bit more realistic as a total. And the way that Italy have batted so far in this tournament, I think they're going to be pretty pleased with where the situation that the game is in at the moment.
As I just finished my scores.
Kamudu Pedrick is the captain. She's just bowled that over. She's another player who's always involved. Captain Kamudu, as you like to call her.
Oh, I do. I just think it rolls off the tongue beautifully. Captain Kamudu in a bandana and a sunglasses.
Chaturika Mahamalage, that also just trips off the tongue, doesn't it?
Oh, so you say chatter, so then I go chatter, like Chaturika.
Ah,
It just
yeah.
sounds good. I mean, I think it sounds good. It probably sounds horrific.
Yeah, I've got I don't know why I'm saying I've got a friend called, because I reckon there's a 95% chance that you know him, and his name begins with TH, and he's Sri Lankan. I'm going to go 98% chance that you know him.
I probably do. But again, my brain decides to not work in relatively intervals.
Known as T-Bone.
T-Bone?
T-Bone.
Does he like steaks?
Probably. I'm talking about my friend Tarindu Pereira.
Oh, okay.
You do know him, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, I knew you'd know him.
I mean, I don't know him personally to call him a friend like you, but that's a pretty cool friend to have.
Old teammate.
Oh, teammate.
Yeah.
Sensational.
Not often, because he's good. But yeah, Tarindu Pereira. That's, Sri Lankan name, begins with TH. That's what I based.
True.
That's what I was going on. But maybe it's pronounced that way because it's at the beginning of the word, because there are languages that have different. Spanish is the same.
I'll ask her at the end of the game. We'll find out.
Just for those not on the note, Tarindu Pereira, actually last saw him right here at Desert Springs a year ago. He toured with the MCC. He's done a lot of work at many levels at Warwickshire County Cricket Club. juniors, men's, women's. And I think he's moved on just very recently, judging by, I say a friend, we don't really keep in touch, but I see his updates on LinkedIn. I think he's just recently finished his long stint at Warwickshire. He was at Yorkshire previously. Not sure what the next step is for Tarindu. He's another one who tunes into this type of thing. So Tarindu, if you're listening, hope you're well. You normally are. So, and perhaps if you can get onto the chat, you can tell us whether Chaturika Mahamalage is round about the right pronunciation. I hope it is. And she's bowled again and been lofted over where mid-off would have been, to deep mid-off. In that case, in this instance, the in-betweeny fielding position works, but only tends to work. She might retract that comment. She is actually right on the edge of the fielding circle, which is normally a one if it goes straight to. This one goes to the left of her. Got some work to do. And that should be referring by name. Of course, she's already bowled as Sadali Malwata. Again, pretty sure these are names of Sri Lankan origin, which is what I'm basing my pronunciation on. Might find they're from somewhere else completely, but
No, I spoke to Sharon and she said about a lot of them are from Sri Lanka. So you've done well there. We did have that conversation.
Bit of sleuthing.
And I've
bit of intuition. Anyway, that was a good over for Isle of Man.
Yeah.
11 off it.
Anything can happen.
I like Mahamalage's action. It's she comes rhythmically over the top. It's appealing.
It's also a lovely name to say. Mahamalage.
Mahamalage.
She's got a fantastic name. Chathurika Mahamalage.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
Nice names, nice people, the Sri Lankans. In general,
Very much so.
In general, very smiling people, generous in their company. And just in case Tarindu's listening, of course, with him being a notable exception, I know him well enough to say that. Tarindu's a lovely guy. Life and soul of the party. Amelia Bartram's going to return to bowl the last over.
Yeah, one of our watchers, Ankush, hello, how are you? He said, please give the last over to Kirandeep. She's an amazing talent. Kirandeep Kaur. Unfortunately, it is Bartram to finish.
Has Kirandeep been called on to bowl in this innings?
I don't believe she has.
Perhaps while we had our guests in, took my eye off it, or perhaps while you were watching England complete their World Cup victory.
No, I've not seen her bowl.
You've done well to score this whole innings, given
that
England were winning only their third global title.
Well, we were looking at, am I right thinking that they hold both the ODI and the T20? Is there being an ODI World Cup between?
No, well, I think that I said that fair. I think you were so euphoric you weren't listening to me when I made that claim.
Sounds about right.
And I can tell you that for the first time today, my co-commentator's shoulders have been revealed. That's a sign that the sun's out quite constantly. It's warming up nicely. It is autumn here, so it is one of those we're never quite sure how much to wear. I've had my jacket not far from me all day. Thick jacket, and we'll probably need that this evening. There's Amelia Bartram bowls Lucy Barnett, and two of our higher performing players of the tournament. One has defeated the other, so Lucy Barnett's highest innings of this tournament so far comes to an end. So the benchmark has been set by her, 64 off 64 balls. Well battered Lucy Barnett once again. We keep bringing these players, keep speaking to them on microphone. They all seem to be 16. That seems to be the age of success of this tournament. And I'll just have a little bit of time before this innings ends. Now that in the time that you've been playing, the women's game has become so much more professional. It used to be quite common that the team were laden with teenagers who were maybe studying, and then as soon as they got through that sort of age period, they'd have to get a job, and they didn't have time to train. Their performances would drop off, So you'd have an almost entire team that was sort of under 23s or something of that ilk. Obviously, you've now gone past that age group.
Thank you for the reminder.
You work in sport, but obviously your job allows you to fit your cricket around it.
Yes.
Should we now be expecting to see these 16-year-olds coming out? Should we now expect them to be playing for a long time and having the type of career that you'd expect on the men's side of the game?
I do massively. I think with the money that's coming into the women's domestic sides at the moment, it's, to be 16, 17, 18 is an absolute dream if you're a female cricketer, because this is money that you can live off, and like you've rightfully said, this would be your job, and what a fantastic job to have. Sorry, as I just popped down my score.
That's all right.
I can't finish now. And for the likes of myself, it's not too late for me to be a professional cricketer. It's a little bit more difficult because I'm going through life with a mortgage. I've got other kind of things to pay for, so it's one of those where it's a bit hit and miss for someone like myself. But saying that, I work in an incredible school, as already mentioned, Wellington College, which brought through the likes of Sam Curran, a World Cup winner as of today, and potentially player of the tournament, I reckon. He's done very, very well. So it'd be interesting to see that.
Second World Cup winner in the family.
Yes.
Tom Curran. I mean, this is official because Tom Curran didn't play a match at the 2019 World Cup, but he was in the squad throughout, and he's
part of the squad.
Officially classed as a World Cup winner. That's bringing the end to the innings. So congratulations to the Curran brothers. They now each have a World Cup winners' medal, and that is due in no small part to Wellington College, where you now work. We'll speak about more of that presently as cricket manager Peter Scott races out to the middle as ever, always on the ball. 102 for 8, so that's a tremendous last over from Amelia Bartram, actually a wicket maiden. It's only a leg by off it. So that expected score, or our imagined expected score, just fluctuated a lot in the last 2 overs there. 11 off the penultimate over, but just 1 off the last. So Isle of Man finish on 102 for 8. No 20 overs, so the target is just a little over 5 per over. The way that Italy have been playing, I think they're going to be pretty confident.
Yeah, I don't think the Italians will be too upset coming off of there. I think they've kept the Isle of Man to a very respectable total, 102. So I think they'll be the happier team coming off the pitch at the moment, Italy, especially with the innings that we've seen from those at the moment so far. I mean, obviously looking at the batting lineup there's one standout performance. Only person to get double figures, but those double figures are 64 off 64 balls, so 100 strike rate, and she's carried her team to 102. Unfortunately, there was no one else that could really stick with her to build that partnership with, but without Lucy Barnett's 64 runs from her 64 balls, I think that they would have struggled significantly. I think I might be incorrect, but I believe that is probably the best extras of 19 that we've had in the competition so far. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is definitely close to, and that makes all the difference. I think Italy's bowling attack is probably one of the strongest of the tournament. It's probably the most clinical, and they're a good-looking unit, aren't they, the Italians? And we've seen them post 2 big scores of, I want to say, did they have 150?
146, 152. Yeah.
So they've hit good runs on this wicket so far. They're chasing 102 in 120 balls. I think they'll be pretty happy coming out to bat in the next innings.
Yeah, they're definitely the favourites in this match at this point. Let's just see, they talk about clinical bowling performance. Amelia Bartram, again, 2 for 10 off 4 overs, great figures. Sharon Witanaga, and now she kept in the first match, and she's come on to bowl, and she's taken 3 for 5 in 4 overs. So those are extraordinary figures. So she kept in the first match, and she's been called on to bowl since then, and you can see why. Lovely figures. So that's the equation, 5.15 runs per over to win this match for Italy, to go 3 out of 3, and to top the table. We'll be back to bring you some coverage shortly. As if she hasn't done enough already in this match, Lucy Barnett's going to open up the bowling from the Bera end. In defence of this score of 102 that she scored the majority of. Italy ready to face up. First ball of this innings, the reply, and they're off the mark straight away with a nudge just behind square on the leg side. Italy going for their third win out of 3 in this tournament.
How do you think Italy are going to approach this game, Andrew?
I think if they win it, assuming they win it, then I don't think net run rate is going to be too much of a concern. Although, of course, we're going to have to look at the schedules very carefully, because we're going to have 2 unbeaten teams in the competition. And if that's the case, then we've got the Scandinavian clash next, Sweden-Norway. But the Mediterranean clash is going to be a key match in this tournament, it's beginning to look like.
I'm gutted. I'm not going to be here. It's a shame.
You'll be here for the Scandinavian one.
I will. I will be here for that one. I would love to be here for the Spain-Italy game. Unfortunately, I will be on a plane back to the UK to do my real job.
Is it hockey you've got tomorrow afternoon?
I do. Coaching hockey and then cricket in the afternoon. Straight after.
Indoors for cricket?
Cricket will be indoors, yes. Got a beautiful new indoor centre.
Really? Because the last one was pretty modern. I remember training it.
Well, it's a beautiful centre.
Is it a different place, or was the previous one demolished and replaced, or did they just build a better one on a different site?
To be honest, I'm not 100%. I mean, it was there in April when I started.
Okay.
It's the Robin Dyer Centre. Robin Dyer, ex-Warwickshire player.
Robin Dyer, who accosted me in Waterstones.
There you go.
Just before Christmas, about 10 years ago.
So
Called me a sad man, because I knew who he was. Ex-Warwickshire opening batsman, known as Tufty, I believe.
That's the name of my first hamster.
Really?
It was.
Tufty, I don't know. Tufty was a sort of a, what was Tufty? Sort of a squirrel type character, anthropomorphic squirrel, who was involved in road safety adverts, of course, which is the only type of adverts you could have on the BBC. He featured quite heavily in children's programming, and I think Robin Dyer, was quoted as saying that he had more nicknames than Christian names. Which is saying something, because he's got as many Christian names as he's got letters in his surname.
He does. Got plenty.
From memory, if he's listening to this, I think I'm even sadder than he thought Christmas 10 years ago. Robin, Ian, Henry, Benbow Dyer, I think.
Wow. You are a sad man. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I am. He was right.
No, not at all.
Robin Dyer is a very good judge of character.
I think they call it a cricket badger.
Well, I've been called that plenty of times yet.
As that's played beautifully clipped on the legs from Sharon. Down to fine leg for a single. From the first ball of Catherine Perry's overs. Seen a lot from these girls.
See, you just described me as a cricket badger, and yet if Sophie Devine's listening, she'll probably think, well, how come we didn't know my name then?
You know Robin Dyer's full name, but you don't know Sophie's first name.
It's Susie.
Susie Bates.
Susie Bates. That's two such legends of New Zealand cricket that I just kind of half sort of merged them into one person.
Couldn't agree more. Still looking at some of our comments from the fan base.
The fun base.
Fan base.
Okay.
The fun base fan base. As Catherine Perry runs into Bones, knocked for no run to mid-wicket. I'm looking forward to playing cricket this year, and it's only November. I'm excited. Get on the ground running. New teams, new locations. Exciting. Whilst a wide is bowled.
Sadali Malwata on strike. It's been promoted up the order in this match. And that's one possible reason why. That's, well, 3 bounces there. It's not going to quite reach the pickets, which we love to see. So, one of the reasons why I love seeing a ball reach the pickets is because this is a full one-day international accredited ground, which means that the boundaries are of sufficient size to stage any one-day international. And that means, you can use, if the ball hits the pickets, you can freely use the expression that would have been 4 on any ground.
Would have been.
So I heard more often for 6s, but
Big ground
still
here.
worth it. It is. It's one of the reasons why Spain like using it for their home men's matches, because they tend to pick 3 spinners. So they want the boundaries as long as possible.
Of course.
They had a rope delivery issue problem at this ground, because I think they ordered 2 ropes of 120 metres and 2 ropes of 100 metres turned up.
Oh dear.
Which means that last weekend for the men's tournament, the rope was, just for reason of length of rope, was just a bit in. There was a bit of spare space between the boundary ropes and the picket fences, and Spain, with the 3 spinners in their squad, weren't overly enthusiastic about that.
I bet.
Feeling that home advantage. You're staging a tournament, you should get something for home advantage.
Oh.
But they finished second out of 3. Had a good tournament. Had 2 of the squad members in yesterday. Opening batsman Daniel Doyle-Kaye and specialist subfielder Ravi Panchal, on recent evidence. Of course, Ravi has played for the full Spain team. Still very much involved.
Our man from Birmingham.
Yeah, Ravi Panchal. You can take the boy out of Birmingham, but you can't take Birmingham out of the boy.
I completely agree. As the score moves on, 12 for no loss after 2 overs.
Yep, steady start, no wickets lost.
A little bit expensive from Perry. I'm not too sure why I've completely gone a different name on my sheet.
Well, you didn't call her Elise, did you?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I'm not too sure why I went for what I did. I just had someone else in mind. That's okay.
Sharon Wittanaga took 3 for 5 in her 4 overs, extraordinary figures, earlier on, and she's made a steady start with the bat. 3 or 4. Slightly disconcerting in the field yesterday, because Sharon's first name is actually Andromina, which gets shortened to Andrew. So people kept calling out Andrew in the field, and it was very distracting.
Well, your favourite surname is on now.
My favourite surname.
Thorpe.
Yeah.
Played beautifully. Driven to Lucy Barnett and mid-off.
My favourite surname, cricketing surname perhaps in this tournament, but not my favourite run-up. I'd really like to have a 20-minute one-to-one with Alanya. That's when my coaching hat screws up, but it's good enough. When the results are like that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter which foot you jump off, if that's the results you're getting. So that's Clean bowled.
Wicket's going to be crucial early doors, I think, for the Isle of Man, because we've seen Italy have got a very strong lineup in the results that they've had so far. The 140, 150 plus. So I think early wickets, apply the pressure, keep the momentum in your half of the court. So all of what it's about. Keep the momentum, because it will shift throughout the course of the innings. But it's how you're going to get momentum quicker. And at the moment, regardless of it being 12 for 9 off 2, I'd like to say that wicket might just put a little bit of pressure on the Italians.
We've got a lovely little visitor to the area in front of our
Beautiful
commentary booth. A lovely little local bird. He's decided not to fly anywhere. He's trotting around, looking rather important.
Do you know your birds? Could you tell me the name of that bird?
Not that type of bird, no.
But others, possibly.
Possibly, but not that one.
I'm loading my social media for everyone to see the game that we're watching.
Which social media are you using?
So I'm currently posting on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And then
does that automatically post anywhere else?
I think it posts onto Facebook, but I'd like to potentially reach out a little bit further and go on Twitter.
Okay.
Because Twitter, you can follow anybody on Twitter.
I think that as this wicket falls, Lucy Barnett in the game again. That's a short-lived visit from one of the key players in this tournament. We're going to have another go at the name, aren't we? Chaturika Mahamalige has succumbed to just her second ball. Actually quite a strong shot, but couldn't get it over mid-off, who was just sitting a little bit back on the edge of the circle. I think it would have beaten a standard mid-off. But she was just holding back, perhaps tempting the striker, and it's worked. Because Lucy Barnett, ever in the game.
Well, she's
swallows that one with ease.
Yeah, she's been one in the game though, Chaturika. So she's been in the runs for the last couple of matches. I think she was our player of the match for the second game yesterday against Sweden. So the Isle of Man women out there, they'll be happy to see the back of her. But that then brings my favourite, Captain Kamudu, to the crease.
You haven't got favourites, you told me.
My favourite saying. I just think it rolls beautifully, Captain Kamudu.
There's a bit of alliteration there, isn't there?
It is. It's just brilliant. It's like Captain Thea. Doesn't work. It doesn't. It just does not have the same.
Thunderous Thea.
Wow. Not too sure I'll be keeping that one anytime soon. We'll see if anyone can think of any good alliteration for Thea and Andrew. I think we've opened up a world of comments here. Please
I've
be
just
nice.
realised, going back, speaking of social media, I've just realised, of course, the next game is our last game together for now.
It is.
Never say never again. So I think that we should double our resources, join forces, and go for a big social media push for the last match we're going to do together.
I think we should. We might even get selfie involved. To your discretion.
So I've just found someone called Thea Brooks, because we only met, of course, 2 days ago, and we've talked about Sian Kelly on the great work she did in Argentina over a number of years.
Yes.
Thea Brooks, I found I've got a mutual friend of Sian Kelly, so I'm just about to no pressure.
Oh, requested Facebook. Here he is, Andrew Elliott.
Yeah,
Sent you a friend request. Oh, I've got power. I have power
I'm old
now.
school. You can.
Do I accept? Do I decline?
You can accept, and we can do a social media push for the last match, or you can decline, and I'll just talk about it for the rest of the afternoon that you haven't accepted me yet. So, no pressure.
Right. Where are you? I don't even know how to use Facebook. I don't use it often. There you go. Confirmed. We are now friends. Official friends.
Well,
Because no relationship is official until it's on Facebook, apparently.
exactly. And you are free to delete me at the end of the next match.
Oh, tremendous.
See, I actually gave you a get out live on air. So I've noticed there we've got Nick Gaywood in common.
We do. He worked here.
Yeah, he worked here, and as recently as a year ago, he was working here in the role that I think Peter Scott is largely doing now. Maybe not exactly the same role, but certainly in terms of looking after the visitors. Great man, Nick Gaywood played for Devon with a friend of mine from university called Mike Record. I remember, retrospectively, after speaking to Nick for a while, I remember that I did actually watch him play for Devon many, many years ago. It's a very good player. Left-hander, I seem to remember. And can also mention Peter Brett, because he's involved with cricket in Spain. Lives out here for a good chunk of the year, but still doing some work with Monmouthshire juniors. Does some umpiring out here when he can.
And that is struck beautifully as it races over the boundary. That was effortless, I'd say that shot was. As the outfield becomes lightning fast.
Well, yes, it's
Significantly drier than this morning, let's just say that. It's definitely a lot quicker than the balls that were hit along the ground this morning.
That's more than 48 hours since it's had any rain on it now. It's, of course, there was the dew around this morning. Solid in defence there from Kamudu Pedrick. She understands at this stage that it's wickets in hand, chasing a relatively low total. I mean, if they bat their 20 overs, they should get past this, unless they have to completely rebuild. So she knows the value of building a solid platform. Just as I say that, goes for an extravagant shot over. It looked like she was aiming over extra cover there with that one. The commentator's curse strikes again.
Yeah.
Who would commentate on cricket if they had any sense?
Who would if they had any sense?
Yeah,
Is that just a general question?
When you think about it, because whatever you say, the players have the ability to make a nonsense of the next ball.
Oh, of course. But we don't mind looking ridiculous.
No.
I mean,
otherwise we wouldn't.
I've had a few errors.
wouldn't put ourselves up for it in the first place.
You're open to ridicule from the public, but that's okay. Because we absolutely love what we do.
They would just want to be here instead.
Exactly.
There we go, more solid defence. This time from the player also known as Andrew. Sharon Watanaga. Always open with a comment, Sharon. Ready with a smile. And goes for something a little bit more aggressive that time and somehow gets the stub end of the bat down onto it and manages to get it past leg stump, which is around about 180 degrees from where she was aiming. But cricket is a 360 degrees game. Although there is a little very vulnerable, maybe about 10 degrees directly behind you.
Sorry, my focus has gone straight to my scorecard again. I apologise if I'm a little bit quiet.
Have things got complicated?
Just not linking with the scoreboard. And I keep thinking that I'm going wrong, but I don't think I am. But then again, I could be, because I'm trying to focus on watching the game, talking and jotting down what is happening.
And getting people pestering you with friend requests on Facebook. That's really annoying.
And trying to speak to speak to the world, seeing how everybody is from wherever you are, watching us here at Desert Springs in Murcia. Is that good pronunciation-ish?
It would be if the fact that we're in Almeria province.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's upsetting.
Yeah.
You've said Murcia quite a lot though. Is
No,
that
the production company is Audiovisuales Murcia.
Oh, well, that's embarrassing.
Okay, but they've crept across the border from the province of Murcia, which is the neighbouring province,
So
up the coast
and
into this province of Almeria.
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 You can't knock a girl for trying.
My Spanish tutor came from Almeria, so I've got a big fondness for Almeria.
I mean, it's a lovely, lovely environment. I'm sorry to everybody in Spain that I got that wrong. As ball is lifted. Oh,
I don't know if I can believe what I've seen. Lucy Barnett appears to have made an error
I know.
in the field. She did actually get to it. She actually moved very well to it and went for the sliding catch in the modern manner, but got the hand underneath it, but didn't hit the correct part and bounced out. Just goes to show she is human after all.
Oh, here's our points table. Like this. Get this up on the board. Italy on top, even though joint points with Spain as they've both won 2 out of 2 matches. Net run rate is massive for Italy over their first game against Norway. That would have helped significantly.
But what did I tell you about Spain getting a win on Duckworth Lewis?
Yeah, not.
It really reduces the impact, which is why would have loved to have got them through the match normally last night. But no, they're not going to turn down that win. Joe Hicks is going to have a bowl. Who's the only person in the Isle of Man lineup who didn't get a bat earlier on. So they finished 8 wickets down. She's going to purvey her. That's right arm slow. I can't see a lot of wrist action on the ball, so I think her method is accuracy and probably variations of flight. And no one's really got hold of her in this tournament, so she's doing a job well.
She is, and it's very difficult actually to face this kind of bowling unless you commit and try and get it on the full, as Sharon's just done there, but just still stretching out a little bit far. But that's exactly what she needs to do. If you can get this ball, get this on the full, then you can open up the leg side any way you want. But it's that bravery to come down, and actually because it is that slow, that the ball does dip and drop on you. So actually you can come out of your crease quite a distance, and the ball's still not just about reach, as similar to Kamudu Pedrick there. She's attacked the ball, come down, but still it is dropped just before she could get a chance to connect bat on ball. But that happens. You've got to be brave with bowlers like this, because you're not going to get the bounce. So she can still be on the front foot after she's playing that shot, I think. She's gone slightly back foot, stood very tall, but the ball's not going to bounce. And you've got to be careful, especially if it's straight. If it's straight and short and you go back, you're in danger of being bowled or clonked on the pads. So I'd like to see her attack this ball, or watch it and let it go for a wide. One of the two.
My gaze was diverted there, or was it averted? Was there no shot played to the wide? Was there an opportunity of what we call a virtual free hit?
I would have said so, but that's okay. She'll wait, hold fire, and then hit straight down the ground. Well fielded. Is that Captain Claire?
Yep. That's CCC.
CCC. Captain Claire Crow. Not Claire Connor.
3 C's.
The 3 C's, that's what they said to me earlier. The 3 C's. Lovely bunch, the Isle of Man women.
Well,
that's exactly what I said could potentially happen.
I think they were just about to go for LBW then, but I rather think that a bail has fallen. And that is the end of Sharon Wittanaga. She's done her batting for the day.
It's a good way to end the 6th over. Joe Hicks Only 4 coming from it, one of which was an extra.
And that's the end of the power play. 27 for 3 for Italy. Well, I think we have a potential upset on our cards. This match, I reckon, from going Italy being favourites at the start of the match and the start of this innings, I reckon it's just about in the balance now with that scoreline. 27 for 3. The run rate required has edged up from 5.15 at the start of the innings to 5.43. That's not an issue. What is an issue is losing 3 wickets in the power play. And one of those just off the last ball.
There's a lot of combined, or differences of opinion, sorry, I should say, of who's going to win this game on YouTube. A lot say Italy, a lot say Isle of Man. We'll see.
What does Mario Rossi think, for example? Have we got anyone called Mario Rossi, or rather some classic Italian name, who might be seeing it as Italy all the way?
I haven't seen them so far.
I don't know what a classic Isle of Man name would be, by
Mario?
the way.
I'm thinking of... I mean, definitely thinking of Mario and Luigi there, but yeah, we've got a little bit of torn.
Mario or Luigi would do, though.
Mario or Luigi.
They would sound Italian enough to me.
So we're looking at, some people are saying that extras are going to be key here. So if the bowling is tight and clinical, then Isle of Man will win. But any extras are going to help Italy sail to victory, is what I'm reading.
Helen Thoughts just lost her run-up, which is ironic.
Again, this is the first time for some teams that they have ever played on turf. So just a reminder that this is a massive step in the right direction for women's cricket.
Do you know I said yesterday that it's easier to play on artificial than it is? It's easier, having played artificial, to then move to grass. Sorry, other way around. It's easier if you've always played on grass to then play on artificial.
Yes.
Than the other way around. There's a big exception. Of course, you don't get as much as a bowler. It's more of a batter's game on artificial. There's one massive thing. I was a seamer, and you're a spinner. But the number of times you turn up play on artificial, and the division between the grass and the artificial and the run-up is just where one of your steps lands. That really does mess you up.
It is not easy. So the fact that some of these teams are playing on grass wickets for the first time, I think, needs to be reminded to some. And the fact that this competition is going ahead is incredibly promising for women's cricket amongst Europe. And it's so exciting to see these players out here. We've seen some incredible cricket played. Just going back to Amy Brown Carrera, had her incredible catch, caught and bowled, as she was veering off to the left of her run-up, diving to the right-hand side, one-handed grab, ball middled from Hassan. It was an incredible
Well, I think we're going to have a run out here if there's anything like a take. It's taken too long. I can't believe that.
How has that not been a run out?
Just seemed to be so far out and treading water, running down the pitch. But she's got home. That surprised me. So our angles are a bit off here as we're at deep extra cover when the bowling's from the Beira end here at the Desert Springs Cricket Ground in the Desert Springs Complex in the province of Almeria, southern Spain.
I can now feel the sun beating down on our backs.
Yeah, no shirt sleeves.
No, the jacket's come off.
Not for Thea, definitely shirt sleeves for me. I wouldn't want to inflict one of those vests on you while I was commentating, or on anyone else for that matter. But yes, I'm starting to wonder about my choice of black top as we get towards the halfway point in November, and still some strength in that sun here in Andalusia, to use its Spanish pronunciation. So it's another quiet over as far as Italy's progression towards this target is concerned. Isle of Man keeping a lid on it at the moment, and Yeah, I think I'm pleasantly surprised by how tight they've kept things so far in this innings.
Shows in T20 cricket anything can actually happen.
That is a solid strike that manages to pick out the fielder.
Panic sets in. 3 down, 32, chasing 102. You think it's a gettable total for a team that's posted 140 plus in both their innings? But anything could happen. A couple of quick wickets. The Islandmen seem to be keeping things under control at the moment. Just a reminder of the incredible innings from Lucy Barnett, 64. Dismissed on 64. Carried her team through to that total of 102. And that has been pulled away down to deep mid-wicket just for the one. It's incredible in cricket. I always find that there's so many big gaps between fielders, but you always tend to hit a fielder, more times than not. I think it's outstanding.
Unless your name is Brian Charles Lara, of course.
Of course.
Everyone says was just ignore the huge scores and everything like that. They said he had an unbelievable ability to be at the point of hitting the ball and realising he was going to hit it at the fielder and just adjusting his wrist position in the last millisecond almost to make sure it missed the fielder.
What a player.
They said that during his 400 not out in a test match, and of course which was televised, so you can watch every ball if you like. They said that he was having fun with the fielders. He was just moving them around as if they were the opponent's chess pieces, but he had control over them.
Unbelievable talent.
Warwickshire man, of course.
He's indeed. My ex-coach played a lot of cricket with him. I say ex-coach, he still coaches me at Warwickshire.
It's not Roger Tews.
It's not Roger Tews. Dominic Osler.
Dominic Osler.
Big name.
Yeah, blondie. Has he still got hair?
He has still got hair.
Is it still blonde?
It is still blonde.
Oh, really?
It is, of course it is. He's not that old.
He must be about 50.
He won't want me to disclose that.
Well, he's played enough cricket to be very easy to find.
I'm sure you'd be able to find it out. No, it's still got his, I want to say blonde locks, but I wouldn't necessarily say locks, Mr. Osler. But there's his still blonde hair there.
Cricket badger moment, DP Osler. We were talking about initials in the Crocodile Club last night.
That's good.
How they set up, they set cricket and tennis and rugby. Certainly traditionally always used to use the full initials. That's how you found out things like RAHB Dyer.
I feel like I need to do a little bit of research into initials.
Yeah, social media's kind of pushed them to one side, and I think also the thought that I think it makes cricket look a bit elitist could put people off. If everyone, you list people down their initials, and it looks like they all went to a private school. Which, of course, everyone's entitled to initials.
Of course.
But there is that sort of elitist perception of it.
Well, a lot of cricketers probably do end up having a private school education. I say a lot. I know there's a lot of research that goes into it. But you see it by, the opportunities that are given to players. They might not. So I know a lot of people, because I've worked in private schools for a long time now, that, students come over on scholarships. So they might not be able to, say, afford the fees, but they come through on a scholarship as they're obviously very talented, and they get the opportunity to train a lot with high quality coaches, and that's kind of what the opportunities that private schools do offer. Like the facilities and the coaching staff are incredible. Yeah,
another Warwickshire player, Dominic Sibley, I believe he got through on that type of scheme.
Yeah.
Where he was invited to Whitgift School based on his cricketing ability.
Of course.
And of course, obviously receives a good education along with his chance to enhance his sporting skills. I umpired Dominic Sibley when he was under 13 at Whitgift School. He was playing for a much older age group. I think he was playing for the under 16s.
Of course.
Stood out. He was already tall. Stood out with his body language in the field amongst much older teammates. Of course, he will have transcended all of them in terms of achievements in the intervening years.
Moving back down south, isn't he, Mr. Sibley?
Is that right? I hadn't heard that rumour.
Pretty sure it's not a rumour.
Okay, I didn't read that piece of news then.
Ah.
I will rephrase.
Right in thinking, he's gone back down to Surrey.
Okay.
Surrey re-sign Warwickshire and England opener. I'm pretty sure he did. Until you said that, I thought, oh Lord, I feel like this is something you would know. Yep, he's gone back down to Surrey.
Okay.
Like Surrey don't need anyone else. What a team Surrey have.
Yep. There are rumours that Alex Stewart turned down the England job recently, or the England batting job, so he could stay in his role at Surrey of the Director of Cricket.
We have Luke Stewart. Luke and Kaz watching from the Isle of Man, waiting to see Kira and Corky in action. I love seeing people that are watching, that know the players. That's amazing. Oh, that's annoying.
Got bad news for them.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They are occupying positions 12 and 14 on the team sheet for this match.
I should have looked at that before I got excited. I'm sorry, Luke.
I'm sure they'll get another
Kaz.
chance, but not in this match. They could come on a sub if there's an injury or illness.
They could, and thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Adrian, for confirming that Sibley has moved to Surrey. Appreciate it.
Okay, so we're getting quick responses here.
We are.
So I
Lots
don't,
of people
what was the name of the last contributor?
Which one? Which comment?
The one that confirming Dominic Sibley.
Adrian Riley. Hi, Adrian. Hope you're well.
Adrian R-I-L-E-Y.
R-I-L-E-Y.
I think I know Adrian. I think he plays
Of course.
for. I think that he plays for Granada, which would explain why he's potentially on the Cricket España website. So, Adrian, I'm going to put this question to you and anyone else who's apt to answering quickly. Can you give me a piece of trivia? It's quite a remarkable piece of trivia about Alex Stewart, specifically relating to his career Test record. See if Adrian or anyone else knows that one. Do you know this one?
I don't, to be honest.
Okay. We'll see if we get a response on that one. It's a good one.
Oh, Adrian Riley, you could be correct, Andrew. I'm not too sure if that's the confirmation of who Adrian is or the... or not.
No, he might be saying I could be correct in this, and it's a great piece of trivia.
I know, that's what I mean.
Or I could be correct in saying that he plays for Granada.
One of the two.
Although he didn't play in the recent European Cricket Series, which I umpired, and I was hoping to see Adrian, but I believe he was back in England.
He said not a clue. Not a clue for the trivia.
Okay, well, we'll give other people a chance. How long should we give them?
Oh,
Adrian,
maybe 10 overs?
Adrian, get a pen out, because you might need to write this one down to understand it when I actually reveal it. A Norway team warming up on the boundary.
One ball to come in this over. I believe. No, it's not. Sorry, I'm one behind.
Or the umpires are one
Or
ahead.
the umpires are one ahead. One of the two.
Okay, so that is the end of the over. Some drinks, quite a lot of drinks come on for the batters during this innings.
Well, on our screen and on my scorebook, I think they might be one short because there was no ball and a wide in there.
How many overs have gone?
Well, technically 8.5, but
Okay.
by the scorers in the score tent, it's going to be 9.
The scoreboard is also reluctant to put 9 overs up. I don't know if they're trying to send a subtle message to the umpires, but we may have just had a 5-ball over.
That might be good for Murphy because there was 14 from it.
Who's Murphy?
Danny Murphy.
Ah, okay. So you changed her surname today? I don't remember that being her surname yesterday. As this 4 has hit straight down towards us. Maybe I'm just used to us using the first names because we had the first names on the screen yesterday.
Yeah. Well, Adrian's got back to you, and I will tell you what he said in 1 second because I'm just getting my scoring up to date. So Stuart's batting average 39.54 is the lowest of any player to have scored 8,000 or more runs in Test cricket. He's the only player to have scored over 8,000 runs despite an average of under 40.
And do you know, I did know that, but the piece of trivia I'm looking for is more remarkable.
Oh, sorry, Adrian.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, he is right in that. He's the only person with 8,000 runs with an average of under 40. But you have to realise that he kept wicket in about 2/3 of his Test matches, so, which explains the long career. He was England's Test cap record holder for a long time. As there's a catching opportunity to Claire Crowe. Cover here, not taken, and 2 runs are the result. And we may look back at that. If Italy should get to this target, we may see that as a key moment. It's good that Adrian's getting involved. No one else is getting involved, presumably.
Well, Luke Stewart's getting back, said get Corky and Kira over to the commentary box. You'll have a great time with them.
Luke Stewart.
Yes.
Spelt Stewart.
Stewart, Stewart. Do you know him as well?
No, it's just ironic. It's ironic that he's not getting involved in the Alex Stewart trivia question when he's got the same surname.
Are you a relative, Luke?
We think we might have a relative in the island. Maybe they could answer the question.
Oh yeah, if you know
regarding Rachel.
Who was it?
No, that was regarding Rachel Overman. Whether he's aware, because Rachel Overman's favourite cricketer is my grandfather (brackets) or Alex Stewart. So I don't know if she was saying that was how he's better known as, or whether she was putting a famous second suggestion in. We suspect it's the latter.
We'll see.
Okay, so Adrian Riley, I'm going to give another clue here, has obviously, I'm not suggesting he's cheated, he's obviously looked up Alex Stewart's Test record. I want you to concentrate on his aggregate runs, Adrian, if you're still on that. What is quite remarkable about his aggregate runs?
The next comment that Adrian's just made is I've heard of this, so I think this could be it. He was born on the 8th of the 4th, 63, the exact tally of runs he ended his Test career with.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Was that Adrian who's put that?
Yeah.
Well done, Adrian.
That's amazing.
You got that. Yeah, 8463.
It's an incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, isn't it?
I do occasionally see Alex Stewart and have a chat with him. Often at LSE Sports Ground in New Malden, where I do a bit of umpiring and where Surrey train. He's not shy of taking the mickey, even out of lesser mortals such as myself. But I think that even if I walked up to him and said 8463, I'd probably get a similar reaction to the one I got from Robin Dyer in Waterstones. He'd probably feel apt to calling me a sad man as well.
No, I've definitely heard of that.
You had heard that one before, but it had disappeared into the recesses of your mind, had it? Right, I've suddenly realised that we are close to toss time, and as it's the end of the over, I'm going to be proactive about that, so I'm going to leave you there to commentate, just give a summary of where we are in the match, and hopefully I will be back with you, assuming the captains turn up on time with the cameraman. Be back with you very shortly.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to see you do the toss this time round. If I go quiet again, I can only apologise. Just going to check my scoring, and then I will get back to the action in the middle. and we have a score of 63 for 3 off of 10 overs. So going at a nice steady rate now, Italy, as that next ball is carved away for 4, regardless of the sliding diving stop in the deep. So we've got Danny Murphy back on at the, I'm going to say the commentator's end. Just going for a few more people. So Emma Miller, hello, thank you for watching. Big shout out to all the girls playing for the Isle of Man in Spain. Everyone at Peel and St John's Cricket Club are watching and very proud of our players. Up the Johnners. Love that. Thank you so much, Emma, for being a part of this commentary and watching. As Danny runs into bowl, and unfortunately that one goes down the offside for a wide. But please, whilst I'm sat solo, it'd be great to hear from everybody that's watching, if you are watching. Obviously, and I will keep repeating this, that this is a new competition for these nations. A lot of them haven't played international cricket before, or a lot of them haven't played too much cricket before because they don't have access to it in their countries. So it's amazing to see these girls and women out on in the middle playing in this tournament. So please respect the cricket that is being played. Saying that, we have just lost a wicket. Unfortunately. So I believe from out here that Captain Komodo Pedrick has just been bowled for 27 off of 28. That is a very important wicket for the Isle of Man cricketers. They'll be happy to see the back of her. Danny Murphy struggled a little bit in her first over. Started not so great in this one either, but has got her wicket that she has been searching for, which now brings Oxfordshire batter Amelia Bartram to the wicket. Left-hander, opening bowler, had a really good spell with the ball. Just having a look through the comments. If anyone else wants to get in touch, please do. So a lot of people thinking that the Italians are going to come through this. I mean, in the position that they're in, run rate of 6.5 and over, needing 3.6. I think they might be right. It depends if that wickets column, if that keeps tottling up, it's going to be more and more difficult. So Danny Murphy at the top of her running spot. The left-handed Amelia Bartram, who's just made her way to the crease, as we have just witnessed the bold dismissal of Captain Komodo Pedrick. And first ball she faces is a wide. Thank you, Adrian, again for your comments. How good is it to see women's cricket actually growing around Europe? More countries need to take note and start to develop their women's teams along with their men's teams to truly help grow the sport. Grow the sport. Yes, they do. I completely agree. As Murphy runs in and is left again. Not a wide this time. But Bartram's got time to see herself in. But Adrian, you are dead right. I think it's really important. I had no idea that this much cricket was being played around Europe, and I was privileged to have been asked to come out here and commentate on these fixtures, and I'm really, really glad that I did, because meeting the girls and women out here, as well as the umpires, the ground staff, everybody else that are involved, has been absolutely tremendous. It's been eye-opening for me in terms of the cricket that's out there all around the world. In countries that I hadn't even thought about would have been playing cricket, and they're here. They're representing their countries, and that's a lot more than what a lot of us have achieved, regardless. There's nothing to take away from these women on here. They're making their countries proud. As the score tottles up to 69 with that extra. Or 71, sorry. There's a slight controversy of scores on the board and on my screen and in my book. It's all going well. As Bartram faces and makes contact with her first delivery that she's had. We have our captain of Norway to my left, ready for the toss of yet another game that they're going to face, always improving. And the captain of Sweden, who they're going to be facing, our Scandinavian battle, the rivalry, she is en route around the boundary. If as I remember correctly, that's Gunjan. Great character. As we continue through Danny Murphy's over. Got 9 from the over so far. Oh, and that is slog swept beautifully over towards the deep backward square region for 4. Amelia Bartram and I had a conversation at the interval of the last innings, and she was saying to me how she's looking at opening up her region of batting and looking to hit the ball more 360. She's a player of the ball down the ground, and then she's just slog swept one behind square for 4. Very good from Amelia Bartram. And I think as Gunjan has approached us to our left, I'm going to disappear for a little bit, and then hopefully you will see the results of the toss of the next game. I'll be back with you shortly. We have got a little bit of a delay for our toss, so I can only apologise that you've not heard my voice for for a good over or so. However, we've just been informed that after this ball, we're going to go to the toss between Sweden and Norway.
So quick, I hope one of you's got a coin. Okay, so we need a coin for this toss, which is going to come in from Thea. Thank you very much. First drop catch of the match. So Sweden are going to toss, Norway call. So what are you going to do? What's the decision?
We want to bowl first.
Okay, this is an all-Scandinavian clash. This is the first time we've ever covered this on Cricket Espana's YouTube channel. We're really excited about it. What does it mean when these two Scandinavian nations come up against each other?
Well, we have played with each other before, but today we will show them that we are better than what we have shown them before.
Okay, so the results historically have gone against you, but this next match is when it's all going to turn around.
Yes, that's true. We are not coming with our best team, but this is a development team, but we came here to learn, so that's what we want to show you guys.
And you're learning on the job because your scores have got progressively better. I think this is the match when you're going to get at least 3 figures. Well, you won't get 4 figures. 3 figures on the board. We're going to see the continuing improvement of Norway, so really good luck with the match.
Thank you.
Okay, how does that toss result suit you?
It's fine because we want to try our batting unit as well, so it's in our favour in a way. So yeah, looking forward for it.
Okay, great. And also for you, any special feelings when it's Norway's the opposition, all Scandinavian clash?
Yes, of course, they are very close to us because they are the one who always supported us when we want to have more cricket and looking forward for a quality game. Yep, that's it.
Okay, lovely. So, result from the toss then. Norway have won that and they've decided to have a field. Well, I'm just a bit out of breath coming back from that. I've just realised commentators have to do everything these days.
They do.
I even had to turn up with a coin, which I didn't.
Which you didn't, I was going to say. I did.
Oh, it's a good job that Claire Crow left her coin behind from the previous toss. I should have left it on the ground where she left it, actually. Then we'd have just been able to get through that. So, yeah, so that's it. We're all set up for the all-Scandinavian clash. Fariel, the Norway captain, is still talking about it in terms of development, and that's exactly what they're doing. She's going to show their neighbours what they can do in this upcoming match. Let's concentrate on this one for now, as Italy have turned the match around in their favour with this partnership. Oh, that's going to be a no ball on height and free hits. Exactly what Italy will want at this stage. It's been a really good partnership, this, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I think it's something that's been necessary. I think Amelia Bartram's played a part fantastically well. She is only 7 from 7, but she's come in, she's played with intent, but she's been sensible about it. She's played some strong shots through square leg and over the top. She loves playing over the top. She just loves to get her arms through the line of the ball as that comes down for another wide. so the free hit will be replayed. But I think she's looked fantastic so far. She bowled incredibly well at the start of the game, opening the bowling for Italy, and then straight away she's had an impact on this game.
Now, I've just been reminded because we just saw a leave there on a free hit, and another Warwickshire man, Nick Knight, he is still mimicked mercilessly. Let's see whether the free hit gets re-signalled here, because that's a dead ball. So, doesn't mean the free hit's cancelled. It should have been re-signalled, but hasn't been. I know that Nilkesh still isn't feeling 100%, but he's sweating the big stuff out there. Well, it's another wide.
Maybe Bartram can do something with this left hand.
Okay, well, we're still on the free hit.
We are.
Okay, so this has been a well extended free hit.
I think Murphy's been quite fortunate to stay on, being quite harsh. I think they need to remember that that is a free hit, which they do now.
I don't know, it's bad of me, but I love a free hit celebration.
Oh, me too.
It's
She is.
There's another thing that's even naughty that you shouldn't like, and there used to be a county cricketer. Again, I think he played for Warwickshire. It's funny how many things come back to Warwickshire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Piran Holloway. I don't know if you've ever. It's an unusual name, so stick in the mind if you ever heard it. Piran Holloway's Cricketers Who's Who entry said something along the lines of, "We need to find a solution to boundary ropes because they are a danger to spectators. I have lost count of the many times I've been in the field where a spectator bends down to field a boundary four only for the ball to collide with the rope, to take off from the rope and collide with the spectator's head." And he said, so this needs to be stopped now, even though it's the highlight of fielding. And I must admit, there is something amusing about someone going down to stop a boundary four.
Getting clonked in the face.
And it's going to bounce up.
You just know. You just know it's going to happen.
Let me let you in a little secret. It's
Oh,
going to
go
bounce
on.
up.
It's just so you know, everyone. It's
Yeah.
going to hit you in the face.
Oh yeah, there's something special about a free hit celebration. And it's even more special when it's a boundary fielder who's taken the catch, who gives it all the pumps, or tosses the ball in the air. That takes an age to come down. He's trying to claw it back in.
Celebrates to the crowd.
Yes.
Getting everyone pumped up.
The batsmen are running
Danny.
7. Yeah, this is a bit untidy from Danny Murphy.
It is. She's struggled, unfortunately, in her 3 overs. This is her 3rd over, and her figures aren't looking particularly wonderful, with 34 for just the 1 wicket.
Oh dear. And it's not being helped by her losing her run-up. Well. Yeah. So just repeat those figures if you could, please, Thea.
So she's 2.4 overs in, and is currently 34 runs conceded for 1 run, for 1 wicket. Sorry, but it's difficult. It is difficult out there. It's a strong wind, and I think that she's been a bit hard done by from a captain.
Yeah.
I think after her first 2 overs, because they went for a 14 and a 13, unfortunately. So I think that the captain excuse me saying this, but sold her down the river a little bit. You know, it's always hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
But she's running in every single ball. There's full effort there. You can see that. And that has been picked up lovely by Amelia Bartram as well. Down on one knee.
Yeah, it's tough work for Danny Murphy. Let's not forget that her favourite food is the all-you-can-eat buffet, and unfortunately the batters have been helping themselves during that over. When not faced with illegal balls, they've been picking up runs fairly easily. Still, remember that Danielle, she can juggle fire. I'm not speaking figuratively. It's one of her skills. Don't know whether we'll get to see her during this tournament, but whilst I'm missing you tomorrow, Thea, I'm going to be having the opportunity of a lot more guests to keep me company.
Amazing.
Here in our commentary suite.
Always good to know.
Don't think that any of them will be dressed in the same colour combo as me. Very surprised.
We've been called twins today. I'm not too sure I necessarily like that.
I'm not.
It's better for you. Just a few years younger.
Just excuse me. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant on the visual side.
Oh no, no.
Yeah.
Didn't mean that at all. As that ball is struck beautifully over the head of cover from Amelia Bartram. She's kept her shape in her shots, apart from the one where she was caught on the free hit, but everything else has sailed to the boundary. She's kept her shape throughout everything, and that's exactly what we spoke about before the start of the game. Is one of her points that she's been working on, because she's slightly in the middle of changing her style of play at the moment. Is Amelia Bartram. She likes to play very technically correct, but actually that's sometimes stopped her from playing a bit freely, as she has a massive lunge forward into her defensive shot.
No, I'm just thinking naturally here. You mentioned that Amelia Bartram, she qualifies through her Italian mother. She's based in Oxfordshire, and Marcus Campopiano, who was here last weekend playing for the Italy men's, is, I believe, the development officer for Oxfordshire cricket. So I'm just wondering whether there's a connection there, whether Marcus has seen Amelia play and realised that she's got Italian mother, and maybe has suggested this. Maybe that's how it's come about. I'm just taking guesses here, but there might be some truth behind it.
Potentially.
Double connection between Oxfordshire and cricket in Italy. Marcus and Amelia.
It's well fielded. Out by Catherine Perry. Quick to the ball. That's probably why I put her as a speed earlier in the innings for some unknown reason. Because I feel like she reminds me of someone that I know. Or looks to be very quick.
You put her on speed, did you say?
No. I put her down as speed.
Okay.
I had Catherine Speed in my head.
Oh right,
I
see, as a
feel like she's
surname,
really
right,
quick.
with you.
As a surname, yeah.
So
Not
just
she's
reminded
on
me. So
speed.
you just said the word speed. Now,
Yeah,
just
Catherine Speed.
Now, which Isle of Man player is it who's called Smell and why? Mentioned it on commentary yesterday. It's Danny Murphy. All you can eat buffet, juggle fire, smell, and favourite cricketer, Shakib Al Hassan.
So I've got it down that the Italians need three to win. However, on a scoreboard and on the TV that you will see on YouTube, they require 4.
Meanwhile, it looks like we're going to get a much needed early finish to this game, because we are already getting nervous about the last one of the day, the Scandinavian derby. After losing the last 3 overs of yesterday's play, well, I can't imagine that the third game is going to finish exactly on time at 3 o'clock, but I don't think it's going to be far off, unless of course Italy suddenly start going at 1 per over to achieve this target. But looks like we're going to get through this game round about 5 overs early, and that's at least 20 minutes grabbed back for the day, much required. That's a good effort from Jo Hicks. She came in, low centre of gravity, got low to that ball, got a hand on it.
She did. It was a tough effort, just falling down short on her. Got the one hand and then a boot. Imagine kicked it up, caught it again. That'd have been pretty exciting to see.
Oh, that would have challenged Amy's magic moment, I think.
It would have done.
Just flick, the flick up with the boot back into the hands. Lovely to see.
In comes Perry steaming in.
Oh, it's a drop catch, but I tell you what, that would have been a screamer too. She got a good hand on that, took all the pace out of the ball. That to me was the match as it came off the bat.
She has hit that so hard. That flew off the bat, so that is a fantastic effort at just behind square leg. On number 3, let's find her.
It's Ellen Cleater.
Ellen Cleater. What a fantastic effort that was. Saved 3 runs there, I'd say, more so than anything.
Well, that should be the match, and we might have.
No!
Oh, it's just short.
Just short of a maximum.
So that is the closest we've got to having a 6 in this tournament, I think. Although I was on the field yesterday when one fell to your left.
No, this is 100%
that looks
as close as it comes.
Such a good strike. Nearly got our first 6 of the tournament, but not to be.
That was absolutely smashed. For me, that shot of the tournament so far.
It is.
That is absolutely stunning.
Really clean hit, and we were willing that over the boundary. Not through bias, because of course it wouldn't have made any difference to the result of the match, because that is a victory for Italy by 6 wickets. Brought a halt to the match around about 15 minutes before schedule. And
I'm still just replaying that shot in my head.
Well,
if it comes up on my screen, amazing.
Yeah, that's what replays are for, so hopefully we'll get one of those.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great way to finish. Great way to finish their 3rd win, Italy.
Yep, 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3, well done Italy. There was nervy moments. The match was definitely in the balance in the power play. 3 wickets down early. I'm gonna, again, we're in that time of day where the sun's right behind us, it makes it difficult to see the screen, so I'm going to hand over to you when the graphics come up, just to take through the match summary, and then we are going to go on a full-on social media drive to get people in for the last match.
Yes, we will. So we like to say that there's a couple of people with names that are coming up twice on here through batting and bowling, and we do have another one of those today in the Italian team. So we've got Amelia Bartram. I think she was outstanding with bat and ball today. If you've been able to see her obviously in her innings, so she took 2 for 10 off her 4 overs in the first innings, but wasn't as strong as Withenegge. Withenegge? How would you pronounce that? Is that Sonia?
Wittenagge.
No, that's not you there. Wittenagge, thank you. So who took 3 for 5 off her 4 overs, which is outstanding. So congratulations to them. On the batting side of things, Isle of Man, obviously the key lead run scorer there was Lucy Barnett with 64. No one nearing anywhere near close to her, with the next highest score being 6. So that's obviously a massive area for Isle of Man to work on. And then going into the second innings, Camudu leading the way in the Italian attack with a high score of 27, and then Amelia Bartram again coming in at the end with, I'm going to get first name on this basis, unless you can help me with this surname.
Wamakula Saria.
Oh, that just rolled off the tongue. Wamakula Saria, who struck that fantastic, almost, probably millimetres away, 1 bounce 4, should have been a 6, I think. I think she was denied the efforts of that shot. I think it's fantastic, with 23, and then Amelia Bartram, as already mentioned, not out on 10. And then the bowling figures for the Isle of Man. So we had Thorpe taking 2 for 11 off 3, and Hicks 1 for 19 off 3 were your top bowlers of the day. So Italy win by 6 wickets. And then again, as we said, 3 out of 3 for the Italians. They sit comfortably top of the table, with Spain just behind. And then in our next match, we have the Scandinavian rivalry battle.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Both captains confident at the toss. Good to see. Nice interviews. Norway, of course, would be second favourites as things stand, but they're developing quickly, and yeah, we could see something interesting. Sweden didn't have all the bases covered yesterday in their match against Italy. We've only seen them once, so it's their second match in this tournament, and yeah, looking forward to it. So we will take a break. The roller is going up and down now. No doubt with the way this tournament goes, we will be underway soon after 3 o'clock. It's just coming up in a few seconds to 3 o'clock. I should imagine that within 10 minutes we'll be underway. We're going on for our social media purge, and we'll be back with you shortly.